was a son. He was devoured by earth. There was a God. You call him the Father. And there was a means to make a valley with grace out of this hole that I've dug for me. He made a valley.
Good evening and welcome to Healing Our Brokenness, episode 67, entitled Acceptance. When I looked up the word acceptance in Google, it says that for human psychology purposes, that acceptance is a person's assent to the reality of a situation. It is recognizing a process or condition, and that process or condition could be often a negative or uncomfortable situation, without attempting to change it or to protest against it. And they also mentioned that the concept is close in meaning to the word acquiesce. When I think about acceptance, I think of the word resolve, coming from the noun resolution. I also think of the words from the song, It Is Well. And that particular song was sang by the gospel choir of the Missionary Baptist Church that I went to as a kid. And it just brings it to mind me seeing the director and her going back and forth, left to right, and the choir over and over singing, It Is Well with my soul, when peace like a river attended my way, when sorrow like sea billows roll. Whatever my lot, thou hast taught me to say, it is well with my soul. And saying those words, it is well with my soul, to me, it is giving a sweet surrender to God. It is accepting whatever God's will is in the situation, and it is an acceptance of his will over our will. Even when it's not the desired details, we are saying that God is God and we are not. When it comes to certain things going our way, and we know that God is the source, and there are certain times where we want certain resources to be used, and God is saying, no, that's not going to happen. I'm the source, and I get to choose whatever resource that I want to choose because I am God. And sometimes that can leave us frustrated. It leaves us feeling disappointed, discouraged. And discouragement comes in when our expectations are much lower or different from what we originally thought. One way to be aligned with acceptance is having the reminder that God is sovereign, and in his sovereignty, knowing that he is in control. The thing about that, and I'm preaching to myself as well, is it sounds good, it is truth, and it's a very simple thing to do. But it's not easy when push comes to shove and your back is up against the wall, and we are dealing with a situation like what is going on now with this pandemic. We are all feeling dramatic financial effects. And I won't say all because some people are not, but there are quite a few of us who are suffering very badly. And we are having to say, as Jesus did in the Garden of Gethsemane, when he was pouring out sweat and blood, not my will, but yours be done. We're wondering at this time during the pandemic, why is this taking so long? Why are we off course with our normal routines? What helps us feel grounded? What helps us feel secure and safe? And like everything is going right in the world. What helps us to keep our normal rhythms of life moving? That has all been changed. That has all been placed on the list of uncertainty and unpredictability. And unpredictability itself is on the top of the list for factors that lead to trauma. So we have been dealing with a global pandemic and a global traumatized society from the pandemic and the fallout of systemic racism in our country. And when it comes to the financial effects, there are programs that have been put in place that we're supposed to help people. And then when you apply for the programs, myself included, you find out that there is some type of loophole. It's not easy to qualify. Either it's better for you to have no job at all or have very little money coming in. And even the very little money coming in is still not low enough. And for some people, it has left them in a state of despair, a state of hopelessness. And we're still having to call out in our worst case scenario situation, not my will, Lord, but yours be done. As we still sit and wonder, are you still there, God? And God is sitting on the sidelines saying, yes, I am still here. He is responding to us as we responded to Elijah when Elijah was looking for him to come in a big whirlwind or hurricane. He is whispering softly to us, I am here, sister. I am here, brother. I am going to leave you today with a reading from Job 38. After Job had lost everything and he was feeling hopeless from the uncertainty and unpredictability that was occurring all around him. I'm going to read the conversation between, not the conversation, but what God answered Job when he wanted to know basically, where are you? Then the Lord spoke to Job out of the storm. He said, who is this that obscures my plans with words without knowledge? Brace yourself like a man. I will question you and you shall answer me. Where were you when I laid the earth's foundation? Tell me if you understand. Who marked off its dimensions? Surely you know. Who stretched a measuring line across it? Or on what were its footing set? Or who laid its cornerstone while the morning stars sang together and all the angels shouted for joy? Who shut up the sea behind doors when it burst forth from the womb? When I made the clouds its garment and I wrapped it in thick darkness, when I fixed limits for it and set its doors and bars in place, when I said, this far you may come and no farther, here is where your proud waves halt. Have you ever given orders to the morning or shown the dawn its place, that it might take the earth by the edges and shake the wicked out of it? The earth takes shape like clay under a seal. Its features stand out like those of a garment. The wicked are denied their light, and their upraised arm is broken. Have you journeyed to the springs of the sea or walked in the recesses of the deep? Have the gates of death been shown to you? Have you seen the gates of the deepest darkness? Have you comprehended the vast expanses of the earth? Tell me, if you know all this. What is the way to the abode of light? And where does darkness reside? Can you take them to their places? Do you know the paths to their dwellings? Surely you know, for you are already born. Have you lived so many years? Have you entered the storehouses of the snow, or seen the storehouses of the hail, which I reserve for times of trouble, for days of war and battle? Where is the way to the place where the lightning is dispersed, or the place where the east winds are scattered over the earth? Who cuts a channel for the torrents of rain, and a path for the thunderstorm, to water a land where no one lives, an uninhabited desert, to satisfy a desolate wasteland, and make it sprout with grass? Does the rain have a father? Who fathers the drops of dew? From whose womb comes the ice? Who gives birth to the frost from the heavens, when the waters become hard as stone? Can you bind the chains of the Pleiades? Can you loosen Orion's belt? Can you bring forth the constellations in their seasons, or lead out the bear with its cubs? Do you know the laws of the heavens? Can you set up God's dominion over the earth? Can you raise your voice to the clouds and cover yourself with a flood of water? Do you send the lightning bolts on their way? Do they report to you, here we are? Who gives the ibis wisdom, or gives the rooster understanding? Who has the wisdom to count the clouds? Who can tip over the water jars of the heavens when the dust becomes hard and the clouds of earth stick together? Do you hunt the prey for the lioness and satisfy the hunger of the lions when they crouch in their dens, or lie in wait in a thicket? Who provides food for the raven when its young cry out to God and wander about for lack of food? Once again, this has been episode 67 of Healing Our Brokenness, entitled Acceptance. I hope that you have a wonderful upcoming week, and that you would find rest and peace and strength in the Lord during these times. I also want to give a shout out to Timothy Horton for our theme music for the intro and outro that is entitled Valley of Grace. Until next time.
Into places to learn instead of burn and perish away. And nights never so cold without His grace. How could I say that I've seen the world from His great love? How could I know what He could love? How would I've seen what He had in store for me if I didn't give up and let Him be my valley of grace, where things would change and maybe they'd take up the cross high again? The valley of grace never was the same after He had died. The love that refines. So much I wish I could give back, but I'm not intact to be sharing all of that. You took the price to give me that life, and now it's never gonna fade away. When I see I need more of Him, He whispers the sweetest of mercies upon my ears, and I won't go back the way it was again.